Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now. Okay, UFC Tampa has a unique matchup because you got Miles Johns, who's a bantamweight, and we're going to tell you why he got into this scenario of fighting at featherweight, but he's fighting Felipe Lima, who is actually a featherweight.
No, he's a bantamweight.
He's a bantamweight as well.
But his last fight was also a featherweight because he keeps taking short notice
Oh,
fights.
okay.
So he was bantamweight champion of like Octagon.
Yeah.
And then when it came in the UFC against in short notice and fought a featherweight. Now this one's also a featherweight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And okay. So we got this situation, right? So let's get into why these boys are in this situation. So we'll go into Miles Johns first. So Miles Johns, he's fought twice already this year, right? He fought in March, beat Cody Gibson, then came back in June and defeated Douglas Silva de Andrade.
Yeah.
Which was I thought it was a pretty good win, man.
It's a very good win.
Andrade is a beast. And then he got matched up for October against Cody Garbrandt, right? Which is a huge fight for anybody because he's a former champion, right? Whenever you get a chance to fight a former champion, you got to take advantage of that. So he took advantage of it. Cody's at bantamweight, took that fight October. The bout got canceled.
Yeah.
Okay. So they got rescheduled because I believe what Miles Johns told me was that Cody needed a couple of more weeks or something like that, some scheduling conflict. So they rescheduled it, right? It was not. I don't think it was any injuries or anything going on. So they rescheduled to November 9th. And during fight week, something happened.
It was during fight week. Yeah, fight week.
He had some like personal reasons or something like that.
Cody,
I don't think it wasn't an injury. Was it an injury? I don't think it was an injury.
On Tapology, what does it say?
No, it says injury on Tapology, but I believe it wasn't an injury.
Yeah.
I believe it was like some personal reasons or something, right? So anyways, Miles Johns gets fucked twice in a row, right? October, he's getting ready for that fight. They move it to November. He goes to fight week. They cancel the fight during fight week. And, he's been training like for a while.
Yeah.
For a while, right? For this fight. And it just never happened.
Like August, basically.
Yeah, and the UFC told him, like, okay, we'll put you on the last card of the year since you need to get paid. And they put him against Felipe Lima. Now, with Felipe Lima, he debuted short notice in June against Mohamed Naimov, which is a hard fight for anybody. Went in there in third round, rear naked choke, finish. Makes a crazy debut, a weight class up, and gets a performance bonus, and beats a guy that was like, highly touted in the UFC. Kind of Felipe Lima kind of coming in as a unknown. He is an unknown because he's a new guy, right? So what do you think of, let's start with Miles Johns. What do you think of his career so far and his style and all that?
I mean, Miles Johns is he's a good well-rounded bantamweight, very good power in his hands, short, stocky, good boxing. And I think he's like a real tough talent for the division in terms of how he could move forward from this because he's only 30 years old coming into his prime, and he's beaten already some good names given Douglas de Silva de Andrade, Cody Gibson. He had a no contest with Dan Argueta, which was an interesting fight. I think it ended because of an eye poke, if I'm not mistaken. And then his only loss in the UFC was to John Castaneda, who's a very, very good Mexican fighter coming up the division himself on his own right. And so in that regard, he's been in the promotion for 4 years, and he's moving up the ranks slowly, trying to get into the rankings. And I think with a win here, he could easily get a top 15 matchup next, given the fact that he already has some very good wins.
Yeah, he has some good momentum going for himself, right? He does have a good style, right? Effective style, and also I feel like he's still like kind of developing his fighting style, and he hasn't like perfected his own striking.
Yeah.
So like if once he does that, I feel like he'll have more finishes on the feet especially. That's the way I look at him, dude. He has so much experience now. He's already had 9 fights in the UFC. Like once you get to 10 fights in the UFC, that's like that you could pat yourself on the goddamn back right
Yeah,
there, right?
that's
It's
like
like
vet level.
yeah,
Yeah, you're a vet.
it's like being in the NBA for 5 years or something.
Yeah.
Like it's 5 seasons. Like and you played. Now it's not like you just sat. The thing about fighting is you can't just sit on the sidelines and
Yeah.
be like, yeah, man, I was there for the championship run, but you didn't play. You're just sitting on the sidelines. You have practice. You're kind of like the guy.
Yeah, the
You're
bench
really the
warmer.
trading partner,
Yeah.
right? But you get paid. You get paid a lot
Yeah.
to be the trading partner, right? And you get to be on TV without actually doing anything. In
Yeah.
fighting, you can't do that.
Yeah, you gotta
You
get
got to
paid.
go in there. You got to
Yeah.
fight. You got to show yourself. So Felipe Lima, on the flip side, right? He man, I've heard about him through other people, and if you look at what he's done outside of the UFC, another guy that's lost his first pro MMA
Yeah.
fight, man, and just has won every one since then. Yeah, so he's got like he's a finisher, dude. He finishes fights. If you look at his last couple, he has like I said, a third round rear naked choke in his debut, and then two fights before that, flying knee knockout in the first
Flat,
round, right?
yeah.
And he's won the bantamweight title for Octagon, and in Europe, Octagon I feel like is one of the major promotions
Yeah, it's
next to
getting up
like
there.
KSW and all those.
KSW, Cage
Yeah,
Warriors, yeah.
yeah, it's like up there. So like winning a title in that, it means a lot. What do you think of the fight though?
I mean, it's an interesting matchup stylistically in terms of the fact that I think Felipe Lima, he's a very, very well-rounded striker. Comes out of AllStar's gym with Khamzat and all these guys, whatever. So they got good coaches behind them. And stylistically, I would say that Lima probably has the grappling advantage because he's very well-rounded, very good striking, very clean kicks, punches, movement, the whole arsenal. And then alongside that, he has a very high-level BJJ game that was showcased in this fight with Naimov. And that fight in Naimov in and of itself shows his level because Naimov was a highly touted prospect, came in, beat Nathaniel Wood, beat who else did he beat? He beat some good names. I forgot, but Naimov was highly touted. Like he was on a 3-5 winning streak in the UFC before he ran into Lima. Beat Jamie Malarkey by KO up a weight class, and then beat Eric Silva via leg injury, which is interesting. But yeah, Naimov was a highly touted prospect coming out of the Tajikistan. So his grappling isn't no joke as well. And then Felipe Lima went in there and finished him after winning the first 2 rounds, finished him with a rear naked choke. So I think it's going to be an interesting matchup on the feet, given Miles Jones' dynamic boxing. We saw it in his knockout of where he had that one body shot, then right overhand up top. That was clean. And I think on the feet it'll be interesting. I would say like it'll be a little bit of a chess match, stalemate, both guys going at it tit for tat, and then when it gets to the ground and the takedowns, I think that's where the fight's going to be decided, in my opinion. What do you reckon?
Um, from my knowledge of like Lima and Miles John, like Lima, he's a guy I feel like he can thrive in like chaos,
Yeah.
right? And he's more of a well-rounded fighter. I feel like all around like grappling, jiu-jitsu. Miles John's obviously he's good at wrestling. He comes from a wrestling background, but the jiu-jitsu is like the X factor in this fight,
Yeah.
right? Because striking, Miles John's is a crisper striker. Probably has a little bit more power in the hands.
Oh, definitely. He's a
Yeah.
tank. Yeah.
And if he lands something on Felipe Lima, Lima's going to be in big trouble, right?
Yeah.
But if he doesn't, then the fight is going to be very, very close. It's going to be very, very close. I give the striking edge to Miles Johns, right? And the finish on the feet, I give that to Miles Johns.
Yeah.
But the thing about Lima is so like unpredictable, like flying knees, right?
Yeah.
You just don't throw flying knees for no reason, right? So that could be an X factor as well for Lima. I feel like all the X factors are for Lima, right? The jiu-jitsu, the unpredictability on the feet, and Miles Johns, he could be like just run down from being in camp for so long, right? Or he just might not just be in it mentally anymore.
Yeah.
By now, right?
That's
He's just
also
like
another factor.
yeah, and he's just been preparing for Cody Garbrandt the whole time. These are all factors that could possibilities, not like it's real, right? I'm just making things up. Half the stuff I'm saying, I'm making it up, right? I'm just trying to give a prediction, right?
Yeah.
A breakdown, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Lima, man. I think Lima goes in there and wins this fight. I feel like him fighting at featherweight is probably going to be the more of advantage than Miles John's fighting
Yeah, I
at
think
featherweight.
Lima's way bigger than him as well. Lima's a
Possibly.
big featherweight. Looks massive. Way
No,
for that.
but height wise, they're
Oh,
the
he's five
same.
six. What?
Yeah, they're the same. Height wise, they're the same. 5'7", 5'6". Reach wise, Lima's a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But you know what? Just because they're taller, you know what I mean? Because like Lima hasn't cut down to bantamweight in a long time now.
Yeah, it's been almost a year. I
Yeah,
think,
so it's probably better for him because he doesn't have to cut down.
yeah.
And then Miles Jones, you know, what I mean, he's already fought twice this year and did a weight cut without fighting, which that could fuck up mentally,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Like
And physically.
your body's ready, your mind's ready for it, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, it's not happening. That could be a big factor as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a crazy fight on the feet, and I see a decision coming in this fight, but you know what I mean.
I
You
think it
never
could be a
know.
sub.
You never know. Yeah, like you said,
Yeah.
the jiu-jitsu on Lima's side.